You were at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $10 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's from Matt, who says, rant about the first At the Gates album, The Red in the Sky is Ours. So I'd never heard this, and I get the impression that it was probably fairly important, not only because I've heard it mentioned in many punk rock MBA videos, the band themselves, I mean, but also it's a 1992 Swedish death metal album. So that's, sort of the height of when that was becoming influential and when death metal was rising. So I have to imagine this was a somewhat important release. And I enjoyed what I heard of it. I listened to most of the album, if not the whole thing, and, it's just full of, like, really fucking good sounding melodic riffs that integrate well with the other instrumentation. The production it's very like thin and it doesn't sound great, but there's something about the way that each instrument really is allowed to stand out that lets you appreciate the actual playing. I feel like more than a lot of more modern metal releases that would have like polished it out, Like I can think of how this album would sound if it was with production that was just trying to sound like as heavy and as clean as possible. And I don't think I would like that as much as, here where it still sounds like metal, it still sounds heavy, but it's easier to parse out, and you really notice the uniqueness of the song structures and the melodic riffs that are going on. Um, you know, is it my favorite? Is it something I think I listen to often? Not really. It feels a little bit more foundational, to me than something I would probably, you know, uh, listen to that had built upon it as an influence and maybe added in more, just more complexity, more additional elements to the mix than the more bare bones, metal structure of these tracks. I don't know what their other albums sound like. I don't know much about At the Gates at all, but I thought this was a pretty solid metal experience. And as somebody who, has not dived into Swedish death metal or really death metal at all in that significant of a way, I thought this was a pretty good way to start. So, if you yourself are interested in death metal, maybe give this album a listen.